Avoid hospitals at every cost. That's the general sentiment and mood of the moment in Corona times. Resultant, people have been smartly and sensibly investing in a set of healthcare devices which help them manage their chronic issues and keep crises at bay. If you're a diabetic, there is every reason to buy a glucometer in case you haven't done that so far. Likewise for blood pressure monitors and even oximeters, which help you check your oxygen saturation levels in the blood. Some people with post COVID residual inflammation or those with comorbidities such as COPD or cardiac ailments may require certain long term oxygen therapy with or without non invasive ventilator support. Now, what does one do when confronted with serious health issues like these? The answer comes in the name of home diagnostics. Today, we are meeting somebody who's a pioneer in the space of home diagnostics, Ms. Meena Ganesh, MD and CEO of Portia Medical, who is taking the burden off the traditional healthcare infrastructure and literally bringing the hospitals home. With the current crisis of COVID-19 looming large over the country and cases still increasing and straining the limited healthcare infrastructure and resources, home care is definitely proving to be a game changer. After all, it's a small percentage of patients who really need to be hospitalized during COVID-19, while the rest can be managed at home. What has been your experience, and how many patients would Portia have served so far in the management of COVID-19?
It's a small portion of COVID afflicted patients who really need care in a hospital or even in a COVID care center. Right from the start of the pandemic in India, as it started to pick up pace towards the end of April, we started to work with multiple state governments to help them manage the COVID crisis. We worked with the Delhi government, Greater Chennai Corporation, BMC, Haryana government, Punjab government, and now we are working with the Karnataka state government. Our experience has been that less than 15, maybe 10% of people really need to be hospitalized at the start because they are showing symptoms which are moderate to severe. More than 85% of people are either asymptomatic or have mild symptoms. And even as per every guideline, these patients can actually be kept at home and monitored. These patients then need regular monitoring. If somebody checks on them, a healthcare worker checks on them every day to see how their health is doing. Certain key parameters need to be asked for and monitored, including temperature, SpO2 levels, pulse rate, if possible, BP. And also very important to understand how they're feeling. Has their cough level increased? Is there any change in their ability to taste or smell? So those are all indicators that things are getting perhaps worse. So this is a process that we followed, and over the entire earlier it was 14 days and now it's 10 days of home isolation. We onboard the patient on day one. The government gives us the patients saying that these we have identified as suitable for home isolation. We onboard the patient with a very detailed conversation to get their baseline health levels, see how they are doing. And thereafter, every day there's a check that happens on their health condition. In case any of them feel worse, we do a doctor teleconsultation right there, then and there. And if we feel that they need to be hospitalized or moved to a facility, then we coordinate with the on-ground health workers of the wards and the states to move them. In this process, over the 6 states that we have worked with, we have managed 170,000 COVID positive patients, of which less than 2.5% needed to be hospitalized. All others have been managed and discharged from home isolation. And just imagine the impact that has had on the healthcare system of this country. All those 1.5 lakhs or 1.7 lakhs that we managed would have landed up in hospital. Apart from that, I'm sure in other states they've managed their own with other providers or by themselves, but just one provider alone has made such a big difference to the healthcare system.
Portia has really chipped in at the right place at the right time. Let's talk of some non-corona issues, planned and unplanned surgeries, other emergencies, chronic kidney ailments such as dialysis, etc. While the government of India may have approved teleconsult and telemedicine, but these are only good for routine or minor kind of ailments and chronic problems. What in the case of serious health issues that can't be normally handled at home? What has been the demand at Portea, and which are the primary issues that people have come up with during the last 6 to 7 months?
Especially if elderly patients or patients who are sick with some other disease are already immunocompromised. If they land up in the hospital for treatment which probably could be done at home, they are at higher risk. So we've seen a huge demand for many of the cancer care procedures, including chemotherapy. People have asked whether we can provide that at home, and we've picked up the threads on that and done that. Dialysis, hemodialysis, as well as peritoneal dialysis at home. A lot of day procedures, like for instance, IV infusions. People would have gone into a hospital or a nursing home without thinking and got a 4-hour IV infusion of some drug, antibiotic, somebody has got UTI. Those are all not critical, but they in the past would have been hospital procedures. Those are also getting addressed at home. Especially coming back to the cancer patient, it's not just chemotherapy. Cancer patients need regular other supplementary treatment. For instance, they need to do port care, wound care, stomach care, or just parenteral nutrition. So there are a lot of other procedures other than chemo and radiation therapy, which can very well be done at home, and we've seen a significant uptick in that. Of course, we also do things like setting up an ICU at home for patients who are fairly sick, and post-hospital ICU where they are now stable, they can be monitored and managed at home. So we've done a lot of that as well.
You know, today every household has some basic medical devices. An oximeter has become as common as a thermometer. Anybody with a history of diabetes has a glucometer. Portea, we know, is into lease, hire, purchase of certain medical equipment. Do you see a sudden spike in interest of people to invest into these in the last 6 to 7 months and build a kind of a basic COVID essential home care kit?
Families have, like you rightly said, invested in thermometer, pulse oximeter, BP instruments, especially those that are hypertensive, because they are at more risk of things getting out of hand. Additionally, an oxygen concentrator is something that a lot of people have invested in. Because in case your oxygen levels, SpO2 levels drop, by the time you get a hospital bed and move somebody there, it could take anywhere between 4 hours to 2 days. And especially when things are really bad, it used to take 2 to 3 days to get a hospital bed in a hospital of your choice. Now, in those conditions, what do you do? How do you stabilize the patients? You need to provide oxygen. And a oxygen concentrator is a very useful device to keep, and it's very easy to use. Anybody can operate and provide the oxygen through nasal cannula to a patient. So those are things that we saw a huge demand of. What we also found, interestingly, is that a lot of communities came together. So an RWA would invest in creating a sort of a COVID care center in their own common facilities. So take the clubhouse, take a few rooms, put some hospital beds, oxygen concentrator, devices for monitoring, have a nurse. So they just got prepared, and even now we see some communities doing that, continuing to do that, so that they can support their residents quickly.
Finally, as the dust settles and doctors have more clarity on how to treat corona and have almost institutionalized a set of medical drugs and equipment to deal with this corona, it's the post-corona damage that most people have to deal with. Are you witnessing demand now for post-corona management as we sit almost at the end of the first wave?
Yes, there are a lot of continuing disabilities and challenges that people face, including lung function related issues which requires regular monitoring of the pulmonary function. A lot of physiotherapy to keep the lungs active and making them expand and contract forcibly. So those are certain things that people look for. But also those who've been sicker patients could have cardiac issues which are persistent, and also blood clotting issues. So those would require monitoring as well, ongoing. So it doesn't look like it's just a flu which went away. In some cases, it can be a fairly insidious problem.
Home care and diagnostics has played an important role in waging this war against corona. A single player like Portea Medical has done home isolation management for over 150,000 patients in the last few months. Like they say, every dark cloud has a silver lining. Concepts such as home diagnostics and digital hospitals, which were shrugged off as being merely futuristic and way ahead of their times, is becoming a ground reality today. Thanks to Corona, people are taking charge of their own health, becoming more responsible in the management of their vital parameters and wellness quotient. This is not only helping in freeing up hospital beds and ICUs, but is also showing people a way to manage their health in the long term, even in the post-corona world.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.